devastating midair collision over D.C., and the nominations and the hearings are happening all week. We're going to get into all of that right now on WND Live. All right, everybody, welcome. WorldNetDaily Live is on the air. It's the last day of January, the 31st, 2025, and I'm Matt Edwards. Welcome. Josh Turnbow, of course, is here as well.
Hey, everybody. How are you? Thank you for joining us.
Friday!
Yes. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I know I'm not allowed to play a lot of sound clips, but I think
YouTube doesn't like sound clips. That's correct.
Yeah. That being said, my friends, welcome to the program. We're going to get into these stories, that horrific crash. Josh, you're going to go walk us through some of the mapping, the details, some of the 3D imagery that's out there already as the details come rolling in. And then, of course, Kash Patel, Tulsi, Bobby Kennedy up on the Capitol Hill getting some. I mean, there was some choice. We've played a few of them already this week, but there were still some choice moments to get through. There we are. I'm a little bit louder now, right?
A little louder. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a little quiet. You're a little quiet.
Mm-hmm. But first, we have to debut this. We have a great way for you to support the program, folks. The WND News Center. That is the nonprofit side of WorldNetDaily, and you can directly support this program by going to this website right here, to this page, and give us a donation. We have a QR code that we can throw up. There it is. Yep. To support this program particularly, you want to donate to WorldNetDaily, the WND News Center. So scan the QR code. It'll take you right to that page. And the best part about it, folks, it's tax deductible. This is a 501c3 here. So you can make a contribution. You can turn on a monthly contribution if you're like, hey, I really like these guys and then their guests.
I mean,
so
yeah.
$10
How
a
could
month,
you not?
Right? Yeah.
How could you not? Yeah, guys, this, we have all these advertisers that we put on here, but this directly supports the show. This side of the business is a nonprofit. And, because of that, we need your support. If you like the show, you could always, we love you buying Zelenko and Patriot Mobile, but now this lets you directly support the show. So, if you notice my hair is getting long and we need support so I can buy razors, my dumb jokes and Matt's smooth voice.
Oh boy.
If you like watching, this is the way to support us. And if you do, we really appreciate it. Keeps us on the air, keeps us talking about what's critical for our audience, the WorldNetDaily audience, and anyone that wants to come over.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good. All right. Well, then let's get into it. Here is this was a post up on X. We'll show the video as well. But President Trump is kind of, this is what's so great about Trump. He's a common sense guy, right? So He's like you and me. When we see something horrific like this, we've got a lot of questions. And so one of Trump's questions that he's been asking is, this Black Hawk helicopter was flying too high by a lot. It was far above its 200-foot limit, and that's not really too complicated to understand, is it? So,
no,
and real quick, Josh, I know we're going to get into a lot of the context here, but I'm sure everybody's been paying attention to this story, so we don't necessarily need to describe everything that happened. But I do want to hear your analysis on this, because apparently this is a training thing that goes on often around this area, and it strikes me as odd. This whole scenario just strikes me as odd.
Yeah. Matt, our title for the show today is Collision Course. That applies to many different topics we'll cover today in the show, but primarily this major story of this American Airlines, American Eagle crash in Washington, D.C. on its approach to Reagan hit. If you don't know, if you just woke up, hit by an Army Black Hawk helicopter. So both are low approaching, and now 67 souls are gone as both aircraft crashed into the river. Matt's described that we're going to cover all that, but I'm going to take a big take on this and say it has shocked me for years that Reagan international, this close to DC. I'm going to say the most sensitive airspace in the world has been able to be an airport this long. In fact, we were just there for the inauguration. I was telling my wife, Kira, we were on a rooftop watching planes come in. And I said, it's really unbelievable that even post 9/11, that they land aircraft this close to the nation's capital. And that's not like, that's just, one of two things. There's helicopters coming and going, VIPs, military aircraft, the president himself. So I'm taking the extreme on this. Maybe as we cover these details, there needs to be a question of, is it still realistic to have, flying death machines flying in and out of the nation's capital, not even a mile away from the most sensitive target on the planet?
Yeah.
So we'll get into it.
I'm a little surprised that it was a Black Hawk helicopter, because you would think that in these types of scenarios, if a plane is threatened, right?
Yeah.
In that airspace, they scramble jet fighters out there, right? They scramble jet fighters out there to take care of the situation. This was this is one of those fighters that might have been out there to intercept something, and they're the ones that made this gross error. If we're calling it an error, I mean, I still don't know. We still don't know exactly what's going on, and so, but I'm very concerned, and so I think you raise an excellent point here, because this is very concerning, to say the least.
Matt, I think through this show, we're going to present some of the data that we do have now. I think we can come to some conclusions. My big takeaway is, I think people don't understand that on the approach vector of the airplane and a helicopter, there's less than 1 minute from them hitting anything at all, let alone, like I said, sensitive targets. And even less than that. Well, I'll show you on the map as we go in the show. The Pentagon itself is blocks from Reagan Airport. Okay. So it is the craziest airspace I think there is, only by value. Like there's maybe busier airspaces, maybe over New York. I don't know. I think the airports are a little farther out, even in New York, maybe just a little. But
this video here, this second video we have that also has the map embedded on it. Let's look at this. Let's look at this, because
we can talk over this one. So this one.
So that's the point of impact.
Yeah. So both aircraft drop into what is the freezing river there.
And I gotta ask, how is that path, the purple path,
right? How
is that and how is that even some sort of training path for helicopters, for military helicopters? I don't understand it. You have a direct line. I mean, that little peninsula right there is the airport. So you have planes flying that low all the time, flying in. I don't understand.
From three directions, Matt. From three directions, they're approaching. And, you can look out your window when you're coming on approach from the north heading south. We'll show you on the map, guys. You can look out your window and see the White House. You can see the Capitol. Okay,
it's a beautiful airport. I mean, it's a beautiful place to fly into. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But again, what are these training exercises? I don't understand. Is that what they are? I mean,
well, they're claiming that this was a training flight. I think there's still some missing information on that. We're going to see if we have that. Yes. And the other one was just, we'll cover this too. We're gonna take a look at the victims. It's just a plane full of Americans coming in from, I think they were coming in from Kansas City, and a mix of folks, including really sad, really tragically, a bunch of kids from like a national skating competition. Yeah.
Horrible. Oh.
Yeah, horrible. These are the folks. We'll come back to this here just a little later too, and we'll just kind of this is representative of America, like all colors and creeds, all ages.
Yep.
Super sad, but we're gonna show you that it didn't happen completely on accident.
Well, what is this 3D imagery here from AI Telly? AI Telly is an account on YouTube, And
Yeah.
we have you guys have cut it down a little bit, so
we
can
cut it
kinda-
down.
Okay,
Yeah, so
yeah.
we've showed
What
some
is
of their stuff before. These guys are awesome, so we want to give them credit. A link to the actual video, the full length video, is in the description of this video. They make amazing explainer videos over on YouTube, and we're going to show you our version, just cut down, no audio. We'll talk over it a little bit. That shows gives you a kind of a spatial awareness of where everything is. So we'll play that out here now. So right away, it's going to just show you the collision, but it'll kind of jump back. So this is like a bombardier jet. This is there's tons of these across the country that are.
How long does it take
commuters.
to make something like this? I mean, this is like,
these guys are very talented. So look, there's the Pentagon.
yeah,
that is blocks away from Reagan International Airport.
and
there's the
White
Capitol.
House. Oh, the Capitol. Yeah.
Yeah, the Capitol is just right out your right-hand window as you do this flight in. And so these guys are making their approach. They're 400 feet off the ground as they're coming in, and they have to kind of take a left-hand turn. You can see there to perfectly align with the runway, right?
Something that flights do daily.
Right. And to give you some idea, 400 feet, that's like putting your drone up in the air. That's not very high.
Right.
And then this helicopter, the call sign Pat 25, it's supposed to be at around 200 feet, right? Below. But as they're telling us now, it was not. So the air traffic controller says, do you see the plane? They say we do, or we did. But this imagery, and this will be unfolding, suggests that they saw another plane coming from a different direction. And now, how you don't see the one in front of you is unclear, and they turned into its flight path, and that's what caused the destruction.
I'm just completely against having helicopters or any air vehicles flying next to runways.
Yeah.
I just think that's asinine.
It's
I don't care.
Crazy.
I just don't. There's no amount of technology. I wouldn't even send a Tesla self-driving drone through that area.
And so, like, one thing we'll do, we're going to show you another video. So it's been claimed that the pilots were wearing what they call toilet paper roll or toilet paper tube night vision. The reason they call them that is because they're about the size of a toilet paper roll without the toilet paper on it, the tubes. And, they're like this. But what happens is they give you serious tunnel vision. But this is how pilots train to fly. So there's some question of, here's what it may look like. So this does not give you a wide field of view.
But what about your instruments? Isn't there radar? Well, Josh, I'm not buying any of this. I'm not buying it.
I hear you, Matt. I hear you, dude.
It's so frustrating.
I know, man. So, but our goal here is just kind of give you a peek of what it can be. Now, this is just through, someone's probably their iPhone. There is a little bit more of a stereo vision effect with the night vision.
Yeah.
But this is just show you that it's not great, right? And bright city lights effect. You can see kind of the bright light on the ground. But then that begs the question of, like, an oncoming aircraft is pretty bright. In fact, we see it in those Twitter videos, right? We see it pretty clearly. So, yeah, the unknowns, Matt, are large at this moment. So, what we do know, I don't want to jump ahead here before we have that link. We do know that it's being reported that normally on the air traffic controller side, there were two people. One handles rotorcraft traffic, helicopters, and the other handles aircraft. Now, just that there would be one aircraft traffic controller just doing aircraft blows my mind, but apparently there was one person doing both jobs that night.
Yeah, that comes out of a report. Do we have that article loaded up here? I see it in
I think we did. Yeah. Guys, that's where the collision course for me is. We are on a collision course between this completely bizarre lack of excellence and professionalism over the last 4 years. Of course, it's been coming. Anyone that's had to stand in line at the TSA or now sees the new hiring practices going on in the airlines, the lack of excellence, meritocracy or meritocratic, by your merits, you get ahead and you're promoted. That's been dismissed. And I think that people have been calling for years that would lead to tragedy, right?
Yeah.
The lack of excellence gives mistakes, and you can't have mistakes in this space.
Yeah.
It's people's lives are on the line.
Well, seeing how the supervisors there decided to cut one person and combine that duties into one person, it makes me feel a little bit better about my time traveling yesterday, because I had a canceled flight yesterday. However, the flight left. It still went to its destination. It wasn't because of mechanical issues or weather. It was because they didn't have enough flight attendants. So they sent the plane empty. And I remember standing there thinking, like, I could get my own peanuts, like let's just go. But there's a reason why those regulations are in existence, I guess. That's a completely different scenario. That being said here, your point is exactly right. I mean, this is what we've been warning about. I saw other footage of Pete the former transportation secretary, Pete Buttigieg.
We call him Buttigieg.
Talk about how there's been a ton of near misses in the
absolutely
air. And I mean, look, Reagan fired all the air traffic controllers back in the 80s. And Trump is out there saying, we got to, all of you people that work for the government, you should all just take your severance and let's just restart this thing without DEI, without all the quotas. Let's just find excellent people to do excellent work who love their job. That's what we need to find.
Matt, air traffic controller is the kind of job where, people don't think about it, but a pilot and a co-pilot flying a plane is one thing, but the air traffic controller is orchestrating the chaos. And like in big airports like Reagan, but also like Los Angeles, a plane is landing every minute. Mm-hmm. I mean, all day long and into the night, right? So that requires, first of all, you want a cool-headed person, but you want them to be excellent, right? And anything else is tragedy. I was going to share this with us so we can see it. So basically, my favorite thing, guys, Google Maps. So here's Reagan, right? And that plane was, if you can see my little arrow here, coming into this airport, the helicopter was coming south, plane heading north. But, to give it scale, like the Pentagon's right here, right? There's the Pentagon. There's the airport. The Pentagon has its own fleet of helicopters that sit right here and take off. So this is not small time. And then right here, look, this is not a great distance. There's the White House. Here's the Capitol. Yeah. This is pretty extreme. And by the way, when we were there for the inauguration, as I mentioned, we were up on the roof. We were up on the roof for like 10 minutes, okay? And there's helicopters flying in and out and planes. It is crazy. And I'm going to say that I just think, look here, we got a comment. I never thought about not having an airport there. Brandon,
why do we need one? Dulles is what, 40 minutes away, 30 minutes away, right?
Dude, I'm still amazed. I think just the powerful people.
Andrews Air Force Base for all the other dignitaries, right?
Andrews is a little farther out, but I never thought that it would survive after 9/11, except for the powerful folks. It makes their life way easier.
Oh yeah, Reagan.
You know what I mean?
Airport is great.
Yeah, they don't want to go to Dulles. Calcom, 2 aircraft cannot occupy the same space at the same time. I mean, it's like
and survive. Yeah, exactly.
And then 2 near misses in 2 days. Yeah. So previously there was another near miss at Reagan. So, man.
Yeah, we have the article here over at WND.com. You guys got to go over there. Helicopter traffic had triggered 2 aborted landings
Yep.
A week before the crash. That's what I'm talking about. Why are these? I mean, how long have these trainings been going on? Is this something that started up in the Biden administration or something? I mean, or has it just been? I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is a military aircraft. A military aircraft. The whole point of having night vision is so that you can see things. You're telling me if they're wearing night vision and they can't, like. None of it makes sense. And maybe it's just because I'm naive. I'm not a military person. I'm not a pilot. But I know enough that we have the technology where we have been avoiding things.
Matt, and I'm going to say, like, this is maybe a little petty, but like the miracle of Trump in office, why take a chance that any aircraft can veer off toward any like 1 mile away target zone? Why do it? So that's my take. And I don't believe that they have like a 1 minute or less response to aircraft. I don't think it's true.
Hey, what if that Black Hawk, like you said, what if it turned and decided to go for the White House?
Yeah, there's all these like ideas where they just trust. They have to have trust, but I think we're in the post-trust era when it comes to security.
Yep, I agree. All right, folks, we're going to keep tabs on this story as always. Please make sure you check the website, WorldNetDaily, and we will get that rolling. Let's go to our Patriot Mobile ad here. Throw up that QR code for Patriot Mobile. These are our good friends over at patriotmobile.com/WND Patriot. That will get you signed up for some excellent coverage. It's guaranteed. And when you're paying your money to Patriot Mobile, you don't have to worry about it going to all these woke causes and going to companies that hate you. This is a company that is a good Christian conservative wireless company. They have all of the coverage. They're all on the same networks as all the other big guys. But if you go to patriotmobile.com/WND Patriot, use the promo code WND Patriot. And sign up, you'll be helping and support the show as well. So we showed you how to directly support the show at the top. And if you want to get something for it as well, then hit that link in the description as well. So very good.
Excellent.
All right. Excellent. Yes. Excellent. Well, what else is excellent is here's the article over at WND, 8 takeaways from the Kash Patel's FBI confirmation hearing, which I think was going on again today, right?
Let's see.
I know that they do like 2 days for some people. So we had Bobby Kennedy as well. We had Tulsi Gabbard up there. But let's just get you up to speed real quick on how many cabinet nominees have been confirmed so far. So let's look at this. Let's look at this tweet that was put out there. This post on X. We have 8 have been confirmed. 8 have been confirmed. I'm going to see if I can get everybody's name here. I see Ratcliffe. I see Doug Burgum. What's his name? Rubio, Kristi Noem, Pete Hegseth. What's his name? Zen. What's his name? The Z guy from New York? Lee Zeldin. And so I don't know the guy on the far right. I don't know. Or the far left. I don't know who that guy is. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it seemed so impossible just to get Hegseth, in, and that's happened now. So
incredible.
I don't actually understand.
Sean Duffy, Secretary of Transportation, because one day on the job and that horrible thing happened.
I know, yeah,
which is awful.
I don't understand that.
Secretary of Treasury too.
I want to understand the Tulsi complication, because people are like, Tulsi's the big one, and I'm asking, is that because she's a Democrat, or why is she harder than Pete Hegseth,
or Kash Patel? Yeah. I agree. I don't know. Does she secretly know where some bodies are buried or something? She's been in the military a long time. She's still in a reserve, right? And then she's been in Congress and had been on privileged committees because of her background. And I think they hate when someone leaves the reservation. They hate it. And,
when they become a traitor to the Dems. Yeah.
and they've called her every name in the book. They've called her a puppet, and she had a great response during her opening segment about being a puppet. And she basically said they don't like me because I'm not going to be their puppet. And I think that's that's pretty wild. But there are still 14 that are waiting confirmation. Here's the list: Elise Stefanik, there's Tulsi, there's Kennedy, Doug Collins, Chris Wright, Linda McMahon, still Pam Bondi. Even though Pam Bondi had her questioning a week ago, and they haven't voted on her yet. Russ Vaught,
Russ is awesome.
Oh yeah. He was head of OMB before, I believe.
Yeah.
So he should sail through too. But to put this all in perspective, there was somebody that posted a video. I think it was a senator, right? The senator from Oklahoma.
Yep. Yeah. This is a good explanation of like how this stuff works.
Yeah, I mean, because we're expecting things to happen right away.
Right. Yep.
So let's watch this for a little bit.
A week here in Hey guys, we're wrapping up a week here in Washington, D.C., and people are saying, well, why aren't you working through the weekend with these nominees? First of all, I want to explain the situation to you. Everybody has a clock, a calendar laid out, and when that calendar goes into effect is when they get reported out of the committee. Second of all, just for a side note, in 2017, at this same time, we only had 4 cabinet members confirmed. We have 8 people on the for nominees confirmed right now for President Trump. So we got literally twice as many. As they go through the committee hearing, there's 2 separate votes. So they have the hearing, which a lot of people paid attention to yesterday with Tulsi, Cash, and Bobby. Then that committee will meet again a few days later and vote to recommend them to the floor or send them to the floor unrecommended, meaning they didn't pass the committee, but if they still come to the floor. Once that happens and they get voted out of the committee, either favorable or unfavorable, they'll come to the floor and we invoke cloture on them at the time. What that means is a 30-hour debate window begins. On a secretary, on directors, a lot of times it's only 2 hours. The calendar is laid out to hit those moments immediately. So if the Democrats want to continue to debate all 30 hours and the clock hits at 11 o'clock and the time runs at 11 o'clock p.m. or 2:30 a.m., we will vote at that point. What typically happens is when it's going to be an early morning vote or a late night vote, the Democrats will yield back the time so they can go home or go to sleep, which is fine with us. But the clock schedule doesn't change at that point. We'll still have to be on the same schedule. So for us going home this weekend, the clock continues to move forward, and we can't move the nominees any faster than what we can move them right now. We're literally moving them every time that 30-hour window ends. We are voting on another nominee to get the next one to end cloture because we can only have them on the clock one at a time. We can't have multiple debates going on at the same time. This process, unfortunately, takes a long time. At this point, the Senate is literally spending 80% of their time trying to get these nominees pushed forward. So it really eliminates us doing legislative work, but we understand the most important thing we can do for the American people is get the president's cabinets and his nominees out of the Senate as fast as possible. So Leader Thune's doing a great job. Republicans really are working hard doing it, and we appreciate how much you guys are paying attention to it. This is actually unusual. So anyways, God bless you all. Sorry about being long-winded there. Thank you for this opportunity.
There you go. So, I mean, my takeaway when I watched that video, man, is like, good grief, it's complicated.
I got lost maybe halfway through there, and I thought to myself, is this what the founders intended?
No, and
come on, right?
And he's not talking about the backroom deals. You know, some of those guys are saying like, Kash Patel, I want immunity. Like,
yeah,
those guys are shady, right? God. You can totally run the FBI. And then they look at him and go, as long as it's focused on criminals,
right?
Don't look inward. Yeah. And he's gonna have to make those deals, frankly, because my guess is that this is how the Washington works, even when you're draining the swamp.
You know what I would do if I was him? I'd say, yeah, no, sure, no problem. Just get me in there. And then you get me in there, and then I go after you anyway because you're a criminal.
Well,
you're a criminal.
Hey, a great example of that is like, do you remember the big narrative of Project 2025? So the left's the Democrats were like carrying a giant book around. This is way back like 6 months ago, guys. That feels like 10 years ago, where they were campaigning against Trump, and they were saying like, there's this boogeyman called Project 2025, and Trump's going to work with these people. And Trump just straight up disavowed that what it was. It was largely written by the Heritage Foundation. Well, you know what happened as soon as Trump got into power? Everybody's back in play. All those folks are back in play. They're gonna run the same playbook. The thing that the Project 2025 people did, they made a mistake, is they got out and they were loud about it. And so Trump had to say, hey, everybody, shut your mouth. I don't know you.
Yeah, I get it. I just, to go back to that video, I just think like all of the cloture and 30 hours of this, and we got to do it on the schedule. And it's like, I get it. I mean, I get that there's a process, but is that really the right process? I mean, they were on the Hill.
Yeah.
Speaking, which
is this governance?
Always seems like it's not helpful. I mean, all it is sound bites for the Republicans and the Democrats, I mean, they'll sit there and say, well, when I was in your office, you were okay with this. Well, now I'm here. Turn around and look at those Capitol Hill bullies behind you. It's like, it's all theater. It's all theater. And it's fun, popcorny stuff. But like at the end of the day, I don't think this is what the founders intended. Like the advice and consent of the Senate, like, hey, I want this person for secretary. Can you vet him a little bit for me? Yeah, here we go. He's a good guy. Let's go. I mean, that's what
I agree. Calcom is saying Melendez gets sentenced to 11 years.
That's Bob Menendez, the New Jersey senator. Yeah,
that's right. The one with the gold bars.
That's right. Yeah, that came out just a couple of days ago. He got sentenced. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. So like when that happens, that guy didn't have enough secrets and leverage on people, right? Because they're like somebody's got to take a fall for this. He's getting gold bars. That's happening often. He was just an idiot about it.
Yeah. And that's
I remember that.
I mean, that's when you see all these people up there, like you're saying, they have these backroom deals. They're like,
for sure,
just focus on this. Don't do that. Da 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 da. And then if you're a Republican in a sticky situation, like if you're Lindsey Graham, like you have to vote for the president's guys, right? But you also know that if you do, I don't know what's in Lindsey's closet.
I can't wait for their time to be done.
Heels. I didn't say that. That was a chat. I was reading a comment. We didn't even put it up. That wasn't me. Very good. Okay. Well, some other really good. Do we have anything else on this? Because we have some really nice, good news for Trump's first bill signing.
Nope, that's it. Let's move on to that.
Yeah, because this was an important moment, folks, because Trump has been, this has been immigration, illegal immigration, the criminals, the violent criminals that have come into our country under the Biden administration. Like this has been the number one issue, and it should be, because it has devastating effects. And President Trump was able to sign his first piece of legislation, the Laken-Riley Act. And the administration put out this video to commemorate that. It's very touching, and let's watch it.
The Laken-Riley Act will become the very first bill that I proudly sign into law as the 47th President of the United States.
I want to thank President Trump for the promises he made to us. He said he would secure our borders and that he would never forget about Laken. And he hasn't. He's a man of his word. We trust that he will fight for the American people. There's no amount of change that will ever bring back our precious Laken. Our hope moving forward is that her life saves lives.
Laken was a brilliant and beautiful 22-year-old nursing student from Georgia. To her parents and family, she was everything in the world. Laken was attacked, beaten, brutalized, and murdered by an illegal alien gang member who was set loose into our country by the last administration. We will keep Laken's memory alive with today's action Her name will also live forever in the laws of our country. Under the law I'm signing today, the Department of Homeland Security will be required to detain all illegal aliens who have been arrested. In addition, for the first time ever in this act, gives state governments the ability to sue the federal government if any future administration ever again refuses to enforce the immigration laws of the United States. This is something that has brought Democrats and Republicans together. That's not easy to do. Laken did it. Laken did it. This horrific atrocity should never have been allowed to happen. And as president, I'm fighting every single day to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again.
Man.
Yeah, well done. Well done. And
That's
key,
it's a
Josh.
moving video.
Yeah, and what's key about that law there is the fact that the states can sue the federal government. And we talk about how, you know, this ebb and flow of who's in power, executive orders here, and then the next president comes in and removes it, and there's no uncertainty. There's nothing you can do. But when you enact laws like that give power back to the states, it really keeps the administration in check. If they come in and do exactly what Biden did again, the states, if there's enough of them, can really put pressure on to say, hey, we're coming after you for that. And I think that's key. That is really key for this type of bill and moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, when we watch that clip, it's so well done. The White House has been doing amazing media, but the whole point is to get their message out that what an idea. Trump's doing what he said. First days, first weeks, he's doing what he said. And part of that is restoring order and justice to the country and memorializing just one of the most tragic things that happened in the last 4 years with the Laken Riley story. Should have never happened. And this idea that things should not have happened, life can be tough. And now I feel like we're in a phase of restoring those things. So it's, we've been kind of beating our chests with the winning, but this kind of winning feels a bit more sorrowful, but is just as important as victories over our enemies. This is victory over large systematic evils. So pretty exciting.
Yeah, very good. All right, very good. Well, before we let you go, folks, we do want to share with you a special teaser that we have, right? What is this teaser, Josh?
Yeah, so our founder, Elizabeth Farah, is doing amazing interviews. You can see all of her content on our channels, but of course our Rumble channel is what we'll promote for that. But Elizabeth is doing powerful interviews with really incredible guests, and this is a teaser for her latest episode.
The People's Republic of China has been selling the world, and a lot of the world was agreeing anyway, that China was on the march, it was on the rise, it was inevitable and unchanging, and the West is on the decline, and that was inevitable and unchanging. And I think what President Trump made very, very clear in his inaugural address is not so fast. America is going to revive. It always was going to revive.
All right, and that was Steve Yates from the Heritage Foundation. Very good.
Yes, Steve Yates. This is the thing. Elizabeth is getting great folks. Anyone from Heritage is well informed, and that episode's great. So we're talking about everything being fixed, right? Everything being worked on. A lot of people didn't know the Panama Canal was completely being secretly co-opted by China, and the Panama Canal, it's hard to really explain how critical it is to goods moving to the East Coast of the country and a bit towards Texas, and the ports in the South. But it's massive, and we've all been asleep. Our leadership has been asleep. So it's a great episode. I suggest people watch it. You want to know the inside track on what's happening with the Panama Canal. I think that it's Canal Coup is the name of the episode, and Elizabeth does a wonderful job. And we'd love you to go over there and watch that. That's going to be on our Rumble channel. And there you go. And you know what? I got to ask everybody watching, would love you to go over there, Follow, yes. Like, put a comment over there. Okay, I see Calcom's got a bunch of comments. It's just fantastic over at the Rumble. But we would love you guys to just be active on that Rumble, giving it a thumbs up, following if you can, especially on your phone. It's easier to follow if you get the app. And that really helps us. And we like Rumble a lot. So just as an anecdote, Matt, I was working on our YouTube channel, and I had to take a training, Matt. I should have recorded it. A training, Matt, to take away one of the strikes that YouTube gave us, okay?
Oh, you had to be re-educated.
This is a humiliating experience, okay? Like, and I've done these before. I used to work in the corporate world. You just have to just like think, what do they want me to say? And they're not subtle about it. I can't even repeat the questions here, okay?
No way, because we're on YouTube right now.
They all had to do with medical stuff, if you know what I mean.
Wow.
And don't you dare make claims about medical stuff.
Wow.
Especially don't say your opinion about medical stuff affecting other people or yourself. Don't do that.
Wow.
And it was 7 questions. Each one was like, it was like a defense attorney for Pfizer wrote, and maybe he wrote the question.
Yeah. It's exactly that. You just said the PF word. You can't.
Well, we're promoting them on here. I think.
Oh yes, everybody.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know if the AI knows context yet.
Right. Wow, incredible. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why you got to at least have your backup channel. Make it your primary channel, or if not, make it your backup channel. You got to go over to Rumble. So yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Have a comment real quick.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
This is a good comment, Calcom. Pray for the lives lost and the first responders and the SAR divers. Guys,
absolutely.
We were laughing and joking about politics, but this is so sad. The lives that were lost and so like kind of so suddenly. So yeah, please pray for those families. And 67 folks lost their lives. Really tragic. We haven't had an accident like this in the United States in 15 years.
Wow.
So hoping that we won't see another one.
Yeah. And again, when it's something that just feels like it's just, it's not mechanical, it's not like it's like it's so random. It just seems it's so awful, and it just seems so avoidable because as I was ranting at the top of the show, I don't understand how this occurred, but we'll keep watching the news. You folks will do as well. We thank you so much. And yes, keep praying. God bless you all. Have a great weekend, folks. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.